Last year, Drake made the bold decision to sue the most powerful record label in the music industry, a move that many hip-hop fans felt was Drake being a sore loser after his L to Kendrick. In the lawsuit, he claimed the record labels orchestrated a devious plan to bring him down, accusing them of not only rigging the beef in Kendrick's favor, but also directly playing a hand in devaluing him as an artist. He accused the labels of paying botters to bot Kendrick's diss track Not Like Us, alongside many other allegations. But the lawsuit died before it went anywhere. Now, just a few months after his lawsuit was dismissed, Drake is the one being accused of participating in a RICO conspiracy and botting, and is now being sued. Hey guys, I hope all is well. Welcome back to The Truth Is, where I drop new videos exposing the truth weekly. In today's episode, we will be talking about Drake getting exposed. Let's get right into it. Last year, Drake started a beef that he obviously couldn't take on. Similar to what we saw with Diddy, Drake tried to bite the hand that fed him, and now he's realizing the consequences. Before Diddy started getting exposed, he sued Diageo, the liquor giant that produces the Ciroc and De Leon brands. Diddy accused Diageo of purposely devaluing De Leon and promoting it as a lesser urban brand. When he did this, he started a war with the most powerful spirits brand in the world. Diageo was the reason Diddy was close to being a billionaire, as they reportedly paid Diddy over $1 billion during his time at the company. But Diddy got greedy. He knew if they paid him $1 billion, they must have made hundreds of billions, and he wanted more money. What Diddy really wanted was to take a seat at their table, but they refused to let him sit. He realized they never saw him as an equal and would never let him reach their level. So Diddy tried to use his influence to force their hand, not knowing he would pay for that decision. Just months after he sued Diageo, Diddy himself started getting sued, and we all know what followed next. Drake should have learned from Diddy. Don't go after the elite when they are the ones that made you. In the same way they gave you everything, it would be the same way they take it all away. And that's exactly what we're seeing with Drake right now. Back in 2025, Drake filed a lawsuit against UMG. In short, he claimed that before the Kendrick beef started, he and UMG were renegotiating the terms of his new deal as his record deal was coming to an end. Because of his success, Drake got greedy and wanted $600 million to re-sign to UMG, which was significantly more than the $400 million they had given him in his last deal. The only reason he was able to demand such a large amount of money was that he was a very valuable artist. Like him or not, he was one of the most profitable artists in the entire music industry. This meant Drake had a lot of leverage when negotiating his deal. If UMG didn't want to lose Drake to another label, or even worse, Drake going independent, they were going to either have to give him $600 million or find a way to convince him to sign for less. The only problem UMG had with paying Drake $600 million was that they recently became a publicly traded company, meaning they had to report their earnings and losses to their investors. Paying Drake $600 million would have likely resulted in UMG reporting a loss for the year, as there was no way Drake was going to recoup $600 million in 1 year. It would likely take several years for his music to make that money and produce a profit. It is well known that publicly traded companies don't like reporting huge losses because it can spook investors. So UMG didn't want to give Drake $600 million, but they also didn't want him to end up on a competitor's label. So according to Drake, they came up with a master plan to devalue him. And Drake believes that plan was the Kendrick Lamar beef. Kendrick Lamar is in a partnership distribution record deal with UMG, meaning that he is also connected to the same label as Drake, and they profit from his music as well. Drake claims that because of this, UMG used Kendrick to devalue him and redirect his value to Kendrick. He claims they did this by using illegal methods to make the Kendrick's Not Like Us record look like a bigger song by using bots and other techniques. Because of this, Drake started a war with UMG and then sued them, not knowing he had just made the same mistake as Diddy. It didn't take long for UMG to start embarrassing him in the courts, denying they played any part of him losing to Kendrick and straight up claiming that Drake was just a salty sore loser who couldn't take an L. Hip-hop fans felt the same way, and they all laughed at Drake for even trying it. Not long after the lawsuit was filed, a judge dismissed the lawsuit, handing him another massive L. Just like we saw Diddy get sued after calling out Diageo, Drake is now getting sued for calling out UMG. On New Year's Eve, a lawsuit was filed against Drake accusing him of being a part of a RICO conspiracy to promote an illegal gambling site and to use the site to pay a bounty to boost his music. The federal class action RICO lawsuit was filed against Drake, Aiden Ross, and the online gambling platform Stake. The lawsuit claims Stake operates as an illegal real money gambling site disguised as a social casino to bypass US laws. The lawsuit also accused Drake and Adin Ross of misleading fans by live streaming gambling sessions while secretly using house money provided by Stake rather than their own funds. The filing also alleges that defendants used Stake's tipping feature to transfer large sums of money, including a reported $100,000 tip from Ross to Drake, to fund bot farms. These bot farms were allegedly used to artificially inflate Drake's music streaming numbers on platforms like Spotify. They also claim funds were used for amplification campaigns to spread negative propaganda about Drake's competitors. The lawsuit is seeking at least $5 million in damages from all parties. Now, just like that, they flipped the script. Drake is now facing the same allegations he made about Kendrick. Now he's the one accused of not only botting his music, but also scamming his own fans while doing it. This is what happens when you play with fire. You tend to get burned. You think it's a coincidence that months after Drake tried suing UMG for botting, he's being sued and accused of the same allegations, but even worse? This is the same thing that happened to Diddy. This is what happens when these celebrities try to bite the hand that feeds them. You can't dance with the devil and expect it to go your way. This lawsuit was a direct retaliatory attack against Drake. As I said months ago, they were gonna come after Drake, and this is what we're seeing now. As much as I dislike the labels for their predatory ways, I for one am glad Drake and Adin Ross are being exposed for scamming their fans. I hate seeing these rich celebrities who don't need money scam their fans for their hard-earned money. But what Drake did is way worse than just scamming his fans though. He took money from a gambling site to promote gambling to his supporters, helping create more gambling addicts who will destroy their lives because of it. That is truly evil on a whole nother level. A man as rich as Drake who doesn't need money, pushing gambling onto others for money is as wicked as can be. That is just pure greed. That lets you know how little these celebrities care about their fans. The lawsuit basically claims Drake was pretending to gamble his real money on the website, but in reality, he was using fake credits provided by the website. Meaning it doesn't matter when he loses because at the end of the day, it isn't real money. But when the people that Drake influences to play loses, they're losing real money. He was completely scamming his fans. The way this deal works is that the casino would sign a deal with the celebrity to use their influence. Drake signed a deal with Stake worth hundreds of millions. After he signed, they gave him millions worth of fake money to gamble on their site while he streams. Adin Ross is accused of doing the same thing in this lawsuit as well. Adin literally built his entire net worth by doing this. That's why years back he left Twitch to stream on Kick, which is owned by Stake. On October 18, 2022, Twitch banned gambling streams, so in response, Stake created their own streaming platform and started giving streamers millions to stream on Kick. But all those who signed to stream on Kick were required to gamble on the stream. Adin Ross signed an exclusive deal with the streaming platform Kick in early 2023, shortly after facing issues and a ban on Twitch. He was one of the first streamers to get signed by Kick, almost taking a leadership role in the company. Ever since then, Adin has promoted gambling non-stop to his young fans. He was even seen on streams with Drake, where they were both pushing gambling to a stream of hundreds of thousands of people. It's truly disgusting how these influencers and celebrities openly promote gambling and make millions from doing it, making money to encourage gambling to people who are barely getting by. That should be completely illegal. Now, while Drake does deserve to be exposed, it's also important to acknowledge why he's being exposed. While everyone piled up on Drake after Kendrick, he had already been accused of being into them young since way before Kendrick said it. He was also botting streams and promoting gambling before this lawsuit even accused him of doing it. But it didn't become an issue until Drake decided to fall out of line and sue his record label. Before, the label did anything to protect his reputation while he was their #1 puppet. He is only being exposed now because he stood up to the labels. This is why most celebrities won't dare call out the establishment. If they're smart, they know you can't expose the system when you're a part of it. Drake needs the system way more than the system needs him. Drake exposing his label for botting and using other manipulation tactics is a perfect example of a right message but the wrong messenger. If you didn't know, the labels bought everyone's music. That is known by anyone who understands the industry. The labels have always known that fans need encouragement to buy music, so if they bought streams and inflate the numbers of a song, they can make it look more desirable. It's the same thing they used to do back in the day when an artist dropped a new album and the label would send out someone to buy a bunch of albums at stores so they can inflate the artist's sales and generate more hype. This isn't a new technique. The labels have been doing it forever. They did it for Drake his whole career. So yeah, the label was botting Kendrick's music, but Drake can't call it out if they also botted his entire catalog. That's why so many people couldn't take him serious when he sued UMG for botting. Like UMG ain't buy his albums and bought his streams too. Now, did the record label set Drake up? Definitely. They wanted to bring him down from being valued as $600 million to a number they were more comfortable paying. They did such a good job, they possibly ruined Drake's reputation forever. I'm pretty sure they are the ones secretly behind this RICO lawsuit. They want to fully embarrass Drake for what he tried to do. They want to teach him a lesson on respecting his boss. I believe, just like we saw with Diddy, this is only the beginning. From here, things can only get worse. Now it's botting and scamming fans. Then it's a lawsuit accusing Drake of SA and other crimes. Next thing you know, Drake is the next person being judged in court. It's funny how loyal these artists are to these labels, only for these labels to turn around and destroy you once they got an issue with you. That's why it's never worth to sell your soul. While yes, they might give you millions and make you famous, at the end they own you, and if they feel like you stepped out of line, they will end you. Well, I'm gonna end this one here. I want to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.